Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Mario Black and today I'm going to talk about the 3 stars of the game. I'm going to give some history of them and give you some data across the first 3 PWHL seasons and playoffs. This should be a fairly quick one today, so let's get right into it. I'd like to start with some basic information. The top 3 players of each game are voted on by the attending media, and it's generally the home attending media. This can be a collective of people or it's just one person deciding all 3 stars themselves. Stars are announced in reverse order from third to first. The first star is the one considered to be the best player in that game. The 3 stars can have players from one team or both teams. The stars themselves have no impact on the game. There isn't a reward for any player or anything like that. It's simply a way for the top players in a given game to salute the crowd post-game. Stars tend to be biased toward home teams as the home media tends to vote on them. Even in losses, the home media likes to give a star to one of their own players, especially since it's a way for that player to salute the crowd even in a loss. To show a bit of the bias, there have been 320 regular season and playoff games in the PWHL's 3 seasons to date. Only 16 have had all 3 stars of the game come from the visiting team, as opposed to the 77 times all 3 stars came from the home team. All the other games, if you've figured out that those don't add up to the 320 total, all of those games were the stars were players on each of the 2 teams involved. The PWHL was doing a 3 stars of the week concept for the first 2 seasons. However, they have adjusted to doing a player of the week since year 3, and I don't know if that's going to continue into year 4 and beyond or not. Other leagues have done a 3 stars of the week or a 3 stars of the month to highlight players that performed well over the given stretch of time, so we'll see if the PWHL goes back to that or if they do their own thing. This hasn't happened in the PWHL, but sometimes in other leagues like the NHL, there are unusual stars given. In the past, all 3 stars have been given to a player that was retiring, or a star has been given to a returning player so they can salute the crowd in their homecoming. In one instance, the first star was given to a broadcaster that was retiring. As I said, these don't really have an impact on the players, so going off the normal path is a way for the 3 stars to celebrate, specific players in unique circumstances, and I really wouldn't be surprised if the PWHL does something like this in the future if a player is about to retire or maybe a player comes back from injury or something like that. Next up, I'd like to talk about the history of the 3 stars and where it originated from. The 3 stars originated in hockey with the 1936-37 NHL season. Canadian company Imperial Oil had an agreement with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the CBC's Hockey Night in Canada broadcasts to promote the top 3 players in each broadcasted game. The term originates from Imperial Oil promoting their 3-star brand of gasoline. I've included a logo of the company on this slide for reference, and you can see the 3 stars in their logo. While the company's sponsorship ended in 1976, the tradition continued on Hockey Night in Canada and beyond. It's common in North American hockey to see 3 stars given after all games in a given league. This, of course, includes the PWHL. As has become tradition, when the home team wins, the home players named as stars will come out and salute the crowd. One thing I've noticed in the PWHL specifically is that even after home losses, home players will still generally give the crowd a salute, and even road players will sometimes participate in the post-game honors. Players often come out with a puck that they'll give to a fan in the arena when they come out for their salute. Now let's get to the nerd stuff. First, I'd like to thank a friend of mine, Katie, for creating the 3-star spreadsheet. I don't believe it's public, so I'm not going to link it, but I do have access to the data and we'll use it in the next few slides to showcase the data. In year 1, league MVP Natalie Spooner and her teammate Kristen Campbell, the Toronto's goalie, both were named a star of the game on 11 occasions, which was the most in the league. Toronto did have the best record in year 1, which is why it's no surprise that 2 of their players are on top of this list. You'll see a pattern of year 2. The league MVP, Marie-Philippe Poulin, had the most stars with 12 total, and in year 3, the league MVP, Aaron Frankel, had the most stars with 14 total, which was the most by any player in any season. For the top overall star, the 3 MVPs of the first 3 seasons are once again seen here. Spooner in year 1 had the most first stars of any player thus far with 7, which is a bit surprising since year 1 had the least number of games of any season so far. In year 2, New York goalie Corinne Schroeder shared the most first stars with Poulin. Now I'd like to move on to some playoff data. In year 1, goalies from the 2 finalists, Matty Rooney and Aaron Frankel, each were a star on 4 occasions. In 2025, playoff MVP Gwyneth Phillips was a star on 6 occasions. In 2026, Anne-Renee Desbiens of the Walter Cup champion Victoire was named a star 4 times. For the top stars in year 1, there were 13 playoff games, and no player was selected the first star of the game more than once. So that's why there's 13 players tied at 1 apiece here. Years 2 and 3 had the playoff MVPs from each year. Phillips and Poulin earned a pair of top stars, and Abby Rock also got a pair of top stars in the 2026 playoffs. And finally, I want to get to the point system. So in this, I'm weighting the first star with 3 points, the second star with 2 points, and the third star with 1 point. So these are the all-time totals in the regular season and playoffs over the course of the 3 seasons. To no one's surprise, the one-time MVP and all-world player Marie-Philippe Poulin has the most points. She has 63 total points, and her 12 first stars over the 3 regular seasons are the most in the league. The most recent MVP, Aaron Frankel, is second at 57 points. Another goalie of the year winner is Anne-Renee Desbiens, and she has 52 points. These are the only 3 players that have been named a first star on 10 or more occasions during the regular season. For the playoffs, 2-time Walter Cup champion Matty Rooney leads everyone with 17 points, despite only being a first star once in the playoffs. 2-time finalist Gwyneth Phillips is right behind with 16 points, and is the only player to be named first star on 3 separate occasions in the playoffs. Anne-Renee Desbiens is the only player on both lists with regular season and playoffs, as she's third here as well with 15 points overall. It's not surprising to see 3 goalies top the playoff list. A lot of playoff games and series come down to the goalie that outperforms the other. Matty Rooney was a key piece on the Minnesota championship teams, and even was great in her playoff defeat this past season. Phillips has made a reputation for playoff heroics, and she was the playoff MVP despite Ottawa losing in the second year of the season. And Desbiens has been one of the most consistently great goalies in the league so far. So that's it for today's video. Like I said, it'll be a quick one. I'll probably do an update at the end of every season, kind of going over the stars of the seasons, just kind of, for fun, and maybe do updates on how the overall landscape is for the all-time, points and stuff like that. I think it might be neat to track and see what players have been great over multiple seasons. But if you have any feedback, any questions, any ideas, any engagement at all, leave it below. Appreciate anybody that's watching this, and hope everybody has a great day.